Beitzah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah, Hey, fifth Mishnah in the first chapter of Beitzah, where we're going to continue to discuss some of the halachot that were unique to Yom Tov, to the celebration of Yom Tov that were somewhat problematic and subject of machloket. Beit Shammai Omrim, said Beit Shammai, En misalkin et hatrisim b'Yom Tov, ubeit Hillel matirim af lahachzir. So Beit Shammai said the trisim were these like countertops. Okay, the Bartuner says they were mochei b'samim, spice sellers. Yesh lam chanuyot ha'usiyon kemin tevot. They had like these the stores that were made like tevot, like sort of like boxes or like a teva is like a cabinet. V'omdot b'shuk, and they stand in the market. Ve'inam mechubarot lakarka. They're not connected to the ground. They're just movable cabinets. So they were like furniture. Utrisim. These trisim are dlatot. They're the doors. Shesogrim behem pitre oto tevot. They are the doors that go on top of the tevot, on top of these cabinets. Upa'amim, sometimes misalkimotam trisim mipetach hateva. They take off the top of the front of this front board from the front of this cabinet. It's basically the front of the cabinet, and you can't think of furniture in the way that we think of it because it wasn't as finely made. So it would have these holes, and you would sort of connect them. Okay, you'd have to connect them and stick them on in such a way that they would stay permanent and lock them in some way. So when you take off the trees, in order to take it off, you're sort of taking apart the cabinet, and when you put the trees back on, you're sort of constructing the cabinet. It's not like our cabinets, we just open the door and close the door, and it stays connected. You'd have to take off the front and put the front back on. So that's why Beit Shammai said, and they would take off the doors and they would stick it in front, and that's how people would get their spices. People didn't have enough money or the wherewithal or the storage in order to buy things in advance. So if I want to make my split pea soup for Chag, I go and buy the split peas, or I go and buy the spices that I need. So the problem is, when the guy goes to sell, we're going to talk about that in the future, I think. When the guy goes to sell his stuff, and people need to get their spices for Yom Tov, so then he has to do this action that would cause him to deconstruct and construct. So that's why Beit Shammai says, "Ein mesalkin et hatrisim b'Yom Tov." You can't take off this trees on Yom Tov. Beit Hillel matirim af lahachzir. Beit Hillel says, not only can you take the trees off on Yom Tov, you could put it back on. So I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but the Gemara says that all the Mefarshim say that if there's no tzir, if there's no hinge on it, everybody says it's okay. Okay, you can even lock it. You can lock it. You know what I'm saying? And if it has a tzir min hatzad, it has a hinge on the side, everyone agrees the asur lin ol behem. You can't lock it. You can't do it. So if it has a hinge on the side, then it was considered like you stuck it on the hinge on the side, and it was like you were like permanently constructing it. Everybody agreed. Keep pligi. What's it arguing about? V'trisim sheyesh lem tzir ba'emtza ke'en blita v'tochavin oto b'chor ba'emtza. So this tree, like if you think about like this is the cabinet. Okay, this is the cabinet in front. It has like a protrusion, and the top trees has a hole, and you just kind of stick it on. Okay, I don't know. Like I know this is a very high tech illustration, but the idea is it has this like nail sticking out of it, and then you would kind of hang the trees on it, and I guess tie it with a rope or lock it with a chain or whatever you would do. So that's the machloket. Beit Shammai savar gazrinan tzir be'emtza atu tzir min hatzad. Beit Shammai says if I let you do that, then the other guys are going to look at you and say, well, I could put on my regular hinges. Beit Hillel savar lo gazrina b'trei seichanuya. We're not going to make that gzeira. Why? Mishum deba'e la'afukei tavle. People need their spices. V'i lo sharit le la'adhure. This is really interesting halachic logic. If you don't permit him to put it back, lo patach. Then he's not going to open his store. And that's going to prevent Simchat Yom Tov. So Beit Hillel says, listen, I know if you have a tzir min hatzad, you're not allowed to do it. It's really a problem of boneh, of binyan kelim on Yom Tov. But most people have the normal one. They don't have the super fancy cabinet. And if I make this gzeira, then no one's going to open their store and no one's going to have good, tasty split pea soup on Yom Tov. So therefore, Beit Hillel matirim. Beit Shammai omrim. Okay, when they shecht animals, so they would use every part of the animal. So, of course, they would use the skins in order for klafim. The problem is, if you take a skin and you shecht it and you leave it and you don't treat it immediately, it rots in a certain way that makes it unusable for skins. So they'd have to immediately spread it out. Okay? So therefore, they would place the or lifnei dorsan. Dorsan, you spread it out, you place it out in the public thoroughfare, and people would walk on it. People would actually, you'd have to have people stomp on it. Okay, and so therefore Beit Shammai says you can't place it in such a way that people would now walk on it, and so therefore that will become usable after Yom Tov. V'lo yagbenu, and if it was placed there, you can't pick it up because it's muksa. What are you going to do with the skin of the animal on Yom Tov? You're not going to use it. You wanted to eat the meat, that's fine. But the skin is not usable on Yom Tov. It's muksa. Ela im kain yesh imo kazayit basar. Unless you leave a kazayit of flesh, of meat on it, because then it's not muksa because the basar you want, so you can pick it up because you want to use the basar. Ubeit Hillel matirim. Beit Hillel permit them to place the skins out in such a way that people would walk on it so it wouldn't get ruined or pick them up. Why isn't it muksa? Beit Hillel's logic is really interesting. Beit Hillel says mishum simchat Yom Tov v'af pi she'eino torat kli. Why? Because of simchat Yom Tov. Because remember we said the Beit Hillel's logic. If you didn't let you do it, then people wouldn't shech. That's what the Gemara says. That they wouldn't slaughter and they wouldn't have simchat Yom Tov. In order to encourage people to slaughter their animals and have simchat Yom Tov, have basar, we have to allow them to deal with the skins, because otherwise the loss of the value of the skin is going to prevent people from shechting. Beit Shammai omrim, ein motzi'in lo et hakatan, v'lo et halulav, v'lo et sefer Torah l'reshut harabim, u'beit Hillel matirim. So we learned, or we're going to learn, or we're learning right now, that the halacha is that you're allowed to do hotza'ah mireshut l'reshut. Okay, you're allowed to take something from reshut to reshut. Okay, let's mishum ochel nefesh. Okay, hotza'ah. Let's write it out. Mireshut l'reshut. The prohibition of carrying outside without an eruv is lifted. It's permitted, just like cooking is allowed. So too hotza'ah is permitted. Why? As we're seeing from the Mishnah, it's obvious. Like nowadays, you got everything in the refrigerator. You have cabinets. I don't have to do hotza'ah for cooking, but back then they needed spices, they needed meat, they needed whatever. They had to do hotza'ah. So hotza'ah was permitted. So what about, once I could do hotza'ah, Beit Hillel says, this is a really important rule. Mitoch shehutu'ah litzorech, hutu'anami shelo litzorech. This is the phrase. Mitoch shehutu'ah, and it's called mitoch. I'm going to copy this and paste it. Okay, and then we'll get rid of the extras. Oops. I'm going to copy it. It didn't work. Okay. Mitoch shehutu'ah litzorech achil. I'm going to copy it. It's a really important phrase. Mitoch shehutu'ah hotza'ah. But this is the rule. I'm going to take out the word. Mitoch shehutu'ah litzorech, hutra nami shelo litzorech, hutra nami shelo litzorech. It's because it was permitted litzorech, hutra shelo litzorech. And that principle, let's make that red, it's called mitoch. Because it's permitted for the reason I need it. I want to make my coffee, so I got to go buy coffee. I got to go to the coffee guy. He's going to grind my coffee for me. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to make my coffee. By the way, all those things are permitted because fresh ground coffee is delicious on Yom Tov. So mitoch shuta litzorech. So now because I'm allowed to carry litzorech, hutra nami shelo litzorech. That's what Beit Hillel said. So therefore I can take my little baby who can't walk, and I can take my lulav, and I can take my sefer Torah, because the reshut harabim, we don't have a public Torah reading. I'm sorry, Beit Shammai says, you can't do it. Because I don't permit it. For ochel nefesh it's permitted, but this mitoch, why would I permit it for not? But Beit Hillel matzibim, because they say mitoch. But the commentaries add, v'hu shiyeh bat tzorech mitzvah. That's only if there's a tzorech mitzvah, a necessary mitzvah, like the ones we listed. Oh, tzorech hana, I want to benefit. Could go mipetach beito, I want to take my keys. La'afuke hotzaat avanim b'yotzei. But that excludes, I just want to carry rocks outside. You can't carry anything. It's a really interesting question. You can't carry everything because you can only things that have a tzorech mitzvah or tzorech chag or tzorech hana'ah. I want to read a book outside or what have you. Really, but what's the line between litzorech or shelo litzorech? That's why you have rabbis that you learn outside of Mishnah Yomi. We'll stop here and dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.